mentioned just now, my name is Joshua, and I'm the head of the University Placement and Alumni Unit here in MCKL. And I've been here working with students for the past 8.5 years. So I've seen students go through all kinds of phases here in MCKL, and I've seen them go to different kinds of universities and different kinds of experiences in the past 8.5 years here. And this morning, that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take you through some of these examples of where our students have gone. And hopefully, as you look at it, as you think about it, you'll be able to consider and you'll be able to see that MCKL is a good place for your child, for yourself to actually be in, as we not only just help you with your studies and help you with your academics, but we also help you to go and progress further on in university once you're done here in MCKL. So very good morning again to all of you. I hope you're doing well and keeping safe. And just let me share my screen now. All right, can you see my screen? Okay, yes, yeah. So this is if you have not been here, and since I'm starting it off this morning, if you're not been to MCKL, this is what one angle of our college looks like. Well, it used to look something like this, but unfortunately, there's some construction happening behind the college at the moment, and some buildings are being built. So we are losing a bit of the scenery. But anyway, this is the college, and this is where we are actually located here in Brickfields. So what I'm going to do today is to take you through this topic of MCKL students' journey to universities all over the world. And here in MCKL, we offer a few different kinds of programs. Some are pre-U programs, some are tertiary programs. But basically, for myself and my team in the University and Placement and Alumni Unit, we handled and we help students who are mainly in the A levels and the OSMED programs. So what I'm going to tell you today and what I'm going to show you and the information I'm going to share with you is purely based on A levels and the OSMED students' details. So if you have any other questions which are out of this, feel free to still send us a message, and we will try to see whether we can answer it today, or maybe we can channel you to the right person later on. But if, like I mentioned, if you have any other questions also besides, if you have any questions with regards to what I am saying, feel free to type it into the box. And later on at the end of the session, Samantha will be reading out some of the questions, and I'm happy to be able to take and answer some of the questions for you also. All right. So where have MCKL students gone to? I have seen them go to many different places in the world, and I'm just going to show you bits and glimpses of some of these things today, so you can get a sense of how international MCKL students are in terms of where they have gone to study. Okay, starting off, a small little country. A small little nation. Though it looks small here on the map, it is a very popular option. And this is actually the United Kingdom. And later I'll show you a bit of data of how many of our students go to the UK. And you might be surprised at this small little country in the world and how many students actually go there. So we have students heading to the UK to study. We have students heading to Australia and New Zealand every year. UK is a popular option for our students, but next is actually Australia and New Zealand, just below south from where Malaysia is. And then we have students going to East Asia. So you might think that maybe the US might be more popular sometimes, but for our pre-U students at the moment, besides seeing students go to Australia and New Zealand, the next other option is actually East Asia, where we have students going to Hong Kong, going to China, going to Taiwan, going to Japan, going to Korea to study. So it is a very popular option. I'll give you a bit more details about this and why the students are going there later on. Then, of course, we have students going to America and Canada. This is the North American map, and we have students heading over to America. Not that many over the years for varied reasons, but we still have students, and we have students actually also going to Canada to study after they are done with their pre-university. And the other popular option that is slowly growing, but I'm sure that in years to come, there'll be more and more students, is Europe, which is we have students in Germany, we have students in the Netherlands, we have even a student in Italy, and we have a couple of students even scattered to different parts of Europe. And yesterday I spoke to a student who has applied and got an offer from a Spanish university, and she hopes to go to Spain in February next year. So that's the opportunity you can have, and you actually have if you will come and study with us. And if you pursue the A-levels program, if you pursue the OSMED program, you have this opportunity to go to many different places in the world. And these are the few that I've just shown you, and I'll be showing you a bit of data of exactly where they've gone. And then if you have questions, you can ask me. But if you haven't guessed, or if you don't know, the number one actually popular option for MCKL students is actually this particular country. Yeah, it's called Malaysia. So many of our students do end up studying in Malaysia. Why? It could be for various reasons. One could be affordability. Some students may want to go and study overseas, but they cannot afford it. If you are listening as a parent, you understand, you will know how much it costs to study overseas. So if you can't afford it, then Malaysia is actually a good option. And I'll show you the varied options where some of our students have gone to in Malaysia. But Malaysia really gives a variety of options, and about 60 to 70% of our students actually opt to study in Malaysia. So one, like I mentioned, one of the reasons is could be cost, but secondly, it just could be purely because of the variety of kinds of programs that Malaysia has to offer that our students have actually opted to study. And for the very third reason, some students may just stay back in Malaysia because it's closer to home. They are able to save costs if they stay at home, and maybe a fourth reason could be because of the food. Okay, I'm just kidding, but yeah, partly is that some students may stay back actually because of the food that they can get here in Malaysia. So in the past, we have collected data for students who have gone to varied countries all over the world since we've been collecting data for the past 7-8 years already. And I'm just going to show you something which is actually data for the past 3 years. So as you can see, the number one popular option that I mentioned, that small little country in the world, we have students going, which is UK. Okay, I shouldn't say small, but that particular nation, we have students actually very consistently averaging from 70 to 80. And there was 1 year where 100 over students actually heading to the United Kingdom to study. So it is still a popular option, especially with A-level students, because since A-levels is a UK style, UK based program. So once students are done with A-levels, they would love to go and study to the UK. They have got in and they have gone. So that is the number one popular option. But for if you're listening as an AusMed student, please know that AusMed students also can go to the UK. There is a myth sometimes people think that, hey, if I'm AusMed student, I only can go and study in Australia, which is actually not true at all. An AusMed student, you are eligible to apply to a country anywhere in the world, but sometimes as an AusMed student, the requirements may be a bit higher than what the A-level students may be required to go to a particular university. But that doesn't mean you cannot go to these countries to study. So as you can see on the screen, UK is the number one option for our students. And secondly, it's Australia or New Zealand. I categorize them together. And if you notice, for 2020, there's only 13. We are still collecting a bit of data, and I think it's because sometimes we have students going to Australia in July, but because of the pandemic and the borders being closed this year, some of our students may have opted to actually go next year. So we'll be able to collect data only next year, and then we'll see how many more students have gone to these particular countries. I didn't show you this map just now, but actually Singapore is another country in the world that we have seen a significant increase on our students actually getting into these universities and actually studying there. And I showed you a map of East Asia just now with Japan, Korea, Taiwan, China, and Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is actually the third, a fourth popular option for our students. Later on, I'll show you a bit more of specifics of which universities they are going to, and I'll tell you why they are going to these particular universities. Okay, so the next one is actually US or Canada. We have students going to US and Canada to study. And China, India, Germany, for this particular 3 years, for Germany, we are still collecting data. So we don't have those details yet. I'm not saying there's no students. Same goes for China and Germany. I'm not saying there's no students, but it's just that the data we have collected at the moment, we haven't fully compiled the data. And so we don't have this kind of specifics. So we have also students going to other countries possibly in the world that is not reflected here. For instance, this year we also have two or three students going to Ireland to study. And like I mentioned earlier, one student is going to go to Spain next year to study also. So these are quite interesting information you can see, because these are our students and this is where they have actually headed out to in the past 3 years. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a bit specific data. In 2020, in spite of the pandemic, this is quite surprising, and you'll be quite shocked that when you see some of these details, that despite what happened in the world, and despite the pandemic hitting us really hard, and in spite of whatever that happened, our students still applied our students still got offers, and our students actually still went to various universities. Okay, so as you saw earlier, we have 78 students going to the UK, which is a significant number. Some of them are physically here in Malaysia still because they are doing things online before they head over to the UK, but they have got their offers. They have been accepted and they have actually gone to the particular university. And for the UK, I didn't put all in because it's almost impossible to fit all into this one map. But you can see just this year already from this list, there's about 30 over mentions here. We have students scattered all over the UK. Maybe if I say you name it, the MCKL student might be there. Okay, maybe that's, I cannot say that because there's just too many institutions in the UK. But we have students maybe scattered, I can say safely to say scattered all over the UK. And if you look in details of those courses that our students are taking, it's also varied kinds of courses. It's not just one sort of course. So we have students up in the north in University of St Andrews in Scotland, University of Edinburgh in Scotland. This year we had one student who got into the University of Cambridge to read natural sciences. And of course in London, we have students getting into the 4 popular schools in London, Imperial, LSE, King's, UCL, even actually what is not reflected here, we have even a student who's doing dentistry in Queen Mary, University of London. And also other popular options with our students are universities like Manchester, Warwick, Bristol, and Belfast also. So as you can see, just this year alone, 30 over students have gone to these universities. And if you look at QS ranking, if you look at Times Higher Education ranking, these universities mentioned here are actually on the top list. So MCKL students are actually going to top universities in the UK. But I want to tell you that it's not just about going to the top university in the UK. We have students going to all sorts of university based on their skills, based on their interests, based on the needs of the students. And we are here to help you not just get into the top university in the UK or in the world. We are here to actually help you find a suitable university for yourself that suits you. Whether it's top or not, it doesn't really matter for us because we want to find some place that is suitable for you. And we hope that in MCKL, we hope to do that for you. And that's the service we will try to provide for you if you are here in MCKL. This year also for US, not that many choosing to go to the US. It could be because of politics. It could be because of pandemic. We had students getting a few different offers also. Sorry, maybe I should go back here to the UK just to mention one more thing. If you look at UC of Warwick this year, we have a student who actually got the prestigious Bank Negara undergraduate scholarship to study economics in Warwick. And we are very proud of this student, and because and also for MCKL, because it's the second year running. Last year too, we had one student who actually received the Bank Negara scholarship to study in Warwick, also coincidentally. And this year we have another student who's actually been accepted to study at the University of Warwick on the Bank Negara scholarship. In US this year, so there are not as many, but we still have students applying. And if you look at some of these universities like the University of Michigan and Purdue University, high-ranked universities and difficult to get in. And this year we have 3 students who have opted to go to Purdue, one student who's doing studying at the University of Michigan, one student in University of Southern California, and then we have one student who's got into Wabash College. For some of you, you may not know like what is this Wabash College. Actually, honestly, I also did not know what Wabash College is. But when the student applied for it, he had done his research. He was looking for a scholarship that offers enough financial aid to support him, and he's an international student. And he found this college, and he's able to study what he likes. He wants to study, which is physics and computer science. And they have given him a significant financial aid. So as you can see in light blue over there in your screen, he's being supported by the university for his tuition fee and also for his room and board. So that almost covers a big chunk of his education in the US. And we are proud also this year, we have another student who's been accepted to Wesleyan University. So Wesleyan University is a university in the US. And every year, Wesleyan also gives out the Freeman Asian Scholarship. And they give it out to different Asian countries, and each Asian country only has one Freeman Asian Scholar. So MCKL is very proud that this year the Freeman Asian Scholarship went to one of our students, and we are even more proud is because in the last 8 years, 4 of the Freeman Asian Scholarships came from MCKL. So 4 of our students in the last 8 years were the recipients, and like I mentioned just now, only one is given per country. and 4 out of 8 is 50% of of the Asian Freeman Asian scholars from Malaysia actually came from MCKL. We had the first student going in 2013, and the next one went in 2014, subsequently in 2016, and then this year, 2020, we have a student who has got into the Freeman Asian Scholarship, got into Wesleyan University on the Freeman Asian Scholarship. It is a prestigious scholarship. If you've not heard about it, if you go and Google, you'll be able to see the details about it. And we are proud of our students, despite what's going on and what went on in the world. They all have worked hard, and they've got into universities of their choices, and they have already started studying there. Some of them are doing it online still in Malaysia because of the pandemic, but some have already gone to the US to begin their studies there. Singapore, as you saw earlier in the data, it has grown in terms of interest and entry into the university. So we have students getting into the prestigious Nanyang University, Nanyang Technological University, National University of Singapore, Singapore Management University, Singapore University of Tech and Design, and we also have one student this year getting into the Yale and US College. So these are 5 institutions that are based in Singapore, and Nanyang and NTU and NUS, we have seen 10 and 11 students actually getting into these 2 universities. So it's a popular option, but I have to tell you, in Singapore universities, it is very competitive, and it's very, to get in, you need to have a very strong academics. So these students were all, many of them are top students here in MCKL, and they got in. And if you look at the details, in Nanyang, we had 3 students who actually got the prestigious ASEAN scholarship. In NUS, we had 2 students who got the ASEAN scholarship. In SMU, we had 1 student who got the ASEAN scholarship also. And we also had 1 student who got the OCBC scholarship to study economics in NUS. So different ones of them going to Singapore to study. And some of these students one of the students I know who actually was offered, he was our top student earlier this year, and he was offered a scholarship actually to also go to KAIST University in Korea. So he had KAIST as an option, and he also had NTU as an option. But after he did his own research, and he had offers for scholarships from both these universities in Korea, KAIST, and also in Nanyang, but he opted to go to Nanyang in the end because of the course that he wanted to study. And we had a girl who actually got into Yale and US. This is, I think, our second student since second or third student since the formation of Yale and US in Singapore. And she has been also given a study award to pursue, she's interested in doing physical sciences there at Yale and US. So closer to home, very close to home, this country, Singapore, and we see MCKL students opting to go and study there. And another country that I told you about earlier is Hong Kong. This year, maybe a slight drop in entry into Hong Kong, but if you look at the data there, 8 students who went to the University of Hong Kong. 1 student is in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, 1 to Hong Kong Baptist University, and 2 to Chinese University of Hong Kong. Over the years, we have also seen students going to the other 2 universities in Hong Kong, the Chinese University, City University of Hong Kong, and Hong Kong Polytech University. And Hong Kong is one country where parents and students come to me and they ask they want a scholarship. I would say that Hong Kong is very generous with their scholarships. So some of these students of ours who ended up in Hong Kong, they may have applied to other countries also. They may have got offers from other countries also, but Hong Kong is very popular. Hong Kong was their choice because of the scholarship. So as you can see, we had students getting scholarships for almost every single course or program. Chinese U, both the students had scholarship. Hong Kong USC, a student got the Belt and Road Scholarship. Even Chinese U, we had a student who got the Belt and Road Scholarship. The Belt and Road Scholarship is a government-given scholarship, and it's a very popular, prestigious one. And 2 of our students got a scholarship. The Hong Kong Baptist University also is very generous with their scholarships, and every year our students who have gotten in have got full scholarships. And the University of Hong Kong also, 6 out of the 8 students have got scholarships, but actually the other 2 that we don't have details about whether they have got a scholarship or not, but I strongly think that these other 2 students also got a scholarship. Whether it's full or half, I'm not too sure, but definitely there's something given. So what we have seen is a growing trend in this country because of their generosity, but also because it is an English-speaking program. The universities are all English-speaking, so students who go there, our students who go there, they can adapt easily because of in the university because of not having a language barrier. And it's not just Malaysian. Just in case you think Hong Kong is a place where only Malaysian Chinese go to, actually it's wrong. We have Malaysian Indians going to Hong Kong. We have Malaysians, MCKL Malaysians, other Malaysians also have gone into Hong Kong. But we also have a number of international students. I've had students from India and Pakistan, for instance. I have students from Middle East, Iran, Iraq, going there, doing very well and moving on in life. I've had students from East Asia, Korea, Japan, and even we had a student from Indonesia 1 year who actually chose Hong Kong intentionally because of the options that they have, quality that they have, that is given, plus the main reason actually is the scholarship. So imagine if they give you a full 100% scholarship, your tuition is covered for the 4 years or the 3 years. And some students go with full plus cost of living scholarship. So that is what Hong Kong has to offer. I know I'm spending a bit more time here, but I just want to tell you that students are going there, and it is a good option for our students, and we are proud of our students who ended up there. And as mentioned earlier, Australia is still there as an option for our students. New Zealand also, we have students going to study. So in 2020, we have students going to Western Australia, and this guy actually got the Global Excellence Scholarship. He was one of our top scorers also here in MCKL. And we had a student who went to the University of Adelaide and got a merit scholarship. It's not a full scholarship, but at least it was something to help cover. And as you can see, they are scattered throughout Australia. From the west to the east to the south, we have students going and attending different universities there. So that's what you have to see for this year. And even in New Zealand, we have 3 students going to Auckland and Massey University to study. This time round, in Japan and Korea, also we had 3 students, one to Hanyang University, one to Waseda University, and one to Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. And the student who went to Tokyo University of Foreign Studies went on the Max Japanese Government Scholarship. This, if I'm not mistaken, is our 4th or 5th student who has gone to Japan to study on the Max Government Scholarship, Japanese Government Scholarship. Also a prestigious scholarship that comes with good financial support for the student, and it's for varied courses all over Japan. And these courses are all in English also. So as you can see, we have students going to Japan and Korea too. And finally, well, not finally yet, but before I go into Malaysia, this year we have students actually heading to Europe also. One to Jacobs University in Bremen. And this is an English-speaking university in Germany. And the student didn't need to have German language to apply, and she has gone to study biology and biochemistry. We have one student who's gone to RWTH Aachen University, and one to Technical University of Berlin also. As I mentioned earlier, the data for Germany is not fully compiled yet, so there may be other students who have gone. So just bear in mind that. And then this year we have 2 students who have gone to UCD, University College Dublin in Ireland to study, and both went on some kind of scholarship. So the first girl who is doing science there is a pharmacy student, and the Global Excellence Full Scholarship basically covers 100% of her tuition fees. And the second one is some sort of merit scholarship to study medicine. So what I wanted to just give you a glimpse of what I just showed you is just to show you the journey of MCKL students just this year itself. In spite of the pandemic, we see them going or opting. Some of them may still be in Malaysia, but we see them going to all different parts of the world. And if I have time and to show you, I can show you for 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, I can take you back. And we have students actually going to so many other parts of the world also. And it's very interesting to see where they have gone. We have even students we have one student who went to Yemen to study. Well, that student is actually from Yemen, so he went back home. We have students going to the Philippines. We have students going to Thailand. We have students also going to Indonesia. These are some of the other countries that our students actually go to. So it's not just limited to Malaysia. And even in Europe, we have students going to the Czech Republic, to Poland, to Russia, also to study. And some people may think there is a myth also that, oh, if I do A levels or if I do OSMET, then in MCKL or in Malaysia, I only can go to a private institution in Malaysia, or I have to go overseas. So private institution in Malaysia or overseas, I cannot go to a Malaysian public university. So actually that myth is not true, because let me show you this data just for 2020. So yes, you can see 16 students who actually was, 16 students who were accepted into University Malaya. And University Malaya is the number one ranked public university in Malaysia. So we have 16 students who got in, and if you look at the kinds of programs they've got in, it's really varied, from medicine to engineering to law to economics. One student is doing Italian language and linguistics, to TESOL, to do science, chemistry, and even computer science. The computer science guy who got in is actually on a JPA scholarship also. So you see, if that you think that, oh, if I'm going to do pre-U, A-levels, OSMED, it's going to stop me from going to public university, it's not true. But I have to say it is competitive still, because priority for Malaysian public universities is usually given to the students who go through the Malaysian STPM or students who go through the Malaysian matriculation system. But what we have seen is a significant rise of our students applying to public universities and actually getting in. So even courses like medicine and dentistry, for instance, to USM, UC Science Malaysia, University Kebangsaan Malaysia for medicine and pharmacy, two of them got in, and even to UTM, University Technology Malaysia. So this is very specific for 2020, but over the years, we have seen similar data, growing amount of students applying, getting in, and for varied courses all over Malaysia. So, and some people also, if you're listening as an OSMED student students also is a bit competitive, but on the website and the details for the application, the requirements, OSMED is actually one of the requirements there. So that means you will be considered actually if you're an OSMED student. A-level students also, it is mentioned there. And so what we do is actually we help you through the process. So Malaysian Public University is a option for our pre-university students. Okay, so and again, and to many others all over Malaysia. So in Malaysia, if you are not aware, Malaysia is actually quite an international hub for education, because we offer in Malaysia, when I say we, I talk about Malaysia, Malaysia offers all kinds of education to the Malaysian public. So we have private institutions. Private is solely Malaysian-owned private institutions. Examples are like Taylor, Sunway, HELP, UCSI. They are Malaysian homegrown universities, and they are private. Then we have some universities which are somewhat semi-government, semi-private. For example, UTA, UNITA, they are all that kind of universities which are half-half. And then also we have other universities who have set up, from foreign universities who have set up branch campuses in Malaysia. Monash, Curtin, Swinburne, Nottingham, Southampton, Reading, Newcastle. I feel I've missed out Heriot-Watt. Yep. So all these universities are good, solid, high-ranked universities based in the UK, based in Australia, but they have decided to come and set up campus in Malaysia. And so our students don't even have to go to that foreign country. They can do the full program. Many of the programs are fully in Malaysia. Some of it is half-half. So with so much of variety, why would students opt to not want to study in Malaysia? Besides that, there's also transfer options available with some of the partner there are also options available to transfer to partner universities. MCKL offers an American degree transfer program where students can do 2 years in our college, and then 2 years onwards they can transfer to an American institution. So later on there'll be a session also with regards to this, right? There'll be a session later with regards to this American degree transfer program. So you see there's so much of variety for our students, and also there's also other twinning options in Malaysia. There's public universities in Malaysia also. So in Malaysia itself, we have seen students scattered right from the north up in Kedah. We have students going to Kelantan, for instance, and we also have students even going to East Malaysia to study in Sabah, Sarawak, in the public universities there also. So many options. So just before I take your questions, I thought I'll just take you through the past 7 years here in MCKL. How many students? What are the numbers? How many students you have seen going to some of the countries I mentioned about earlier? And it's quite interesting when you compile this information and the amount you see. So from 2012 to 2019, we have 616 students who actually went to, so for the past 7 to 8 years, who had gone to this tiny little nation. Okay, I should not say tiny, I must remember UK is a big, powerful country in the world. Anyway, 616 students actually went to the UK to study. Some have graduated, some have found jobs there. Some have found jobs in other places in the world. Some are in their master's, some are in their PhD program. Some have finished, come back to Malaysia and already working for a significant number of years. And out of these 116 students, actually, when I compiled the data, I saw that 113, which is actually about 1/5 maybe of the number, were on scholarships. So the scholarships actually can vary from full scholarships, and some of them to small university scholarships that covers maybe £3,000 to £5,000. But the university uses the word scholarship, so I included that also. And these are students, the scholarships who went on JPA scholarship, Khazanah, Bank Negara, Securities Commission, Maxis, Gamuda, and other scholarships also. So that's quite good. And also, as mentioned earlier, I told you, we have students going to the top universities in the UK, which includes Oxford, Cambridge, the London ones, Imperial, UCL, LSE, King's, and also getting into programs which are actually difficult to get in, including medicine and dentistry. So scattered all over the UK, as I showed you the map earlier. We have students in many different parts of the UK. And then to Australia, in the past, even though the last couple of years it has grown lesser, but there is still a significant amount of students opting to go to Australia. And from our data we collected, we have actually 274 students who are actually gone to study in Australia or New Zealand. And again, similar also to the rest, may have finished, come back to Malaysia, may have finished and settled down, may have gone for postgraduate studies, or actually may be actually working there also. America, 118 students, some on financial aid and scholarships, some are self-funded, but America and Canada, we have 118 students, and 100 for East Asia, 110 to Hong Kong, 22 to China, 16 to Japan, 13 to Taiwan, and 7 to Korea. So there is quite a good number actually for us to see our students all over East Asia. And so they are there and they are doing well. And again, finished, got jobs, possibly staying back and working there. And some of them are back in Malaysia or gone to other places. So if you want more specific details about these students and what we do, in MCKL, what we do is if one of our students actually wants to apply to these universities, we actually take them through the process. I'll tell you a bit more of that towards the end. But what we do also, we actually link you up with the student who is already there, or the students who are already there. So the student there, usually MCKL students are very responsive, very helpful. They are willing to reach out to you and give you tips, give you advice. What did they do? What did they not do? And also just give you a general honest view of what the university or the country has to offer. So that's something that we try our best to do with our students, so that it's a real life experience. It's not just a marketing sale to tell you why our university or why this country is the best. We link you up with the students and you get an honest opinion there. Okay. I mentioned this earlier also, but just to say it again, we have students who have gone to Germany, Ireland, France, Hungary, Russia, Czech Republic. I think I missed out putting the number there. But anyway, we have students who have gone to different parts of Europe also to study, and also very different courses. And last but not least, I think, is Singapore. And the last 3 years, a significant rise to students being enrolled into Singaporean universities, and 94 in total also. Oh, sorry. Yeah. 94 in total. Yeah, correct. All right. So other countries that we have seen our students actually going to, which I mentioned to you earlier, is places like India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Yemen, Thailand, Philippines, and the world. I purposely put the world because there is still that option of students going to the world. And we've had students walking in our doors and saying, I would like to apply to Belgium, I'd like to apply to France, for instance, I'd like to apply to Russia. Actually, Russia should be on our list. We have students getting into Russia and Czech Republic also. I even had one student who was actually exploring going to Iceland, because Iceland had a university, and I don't know whether he was serious or not, but maybe he was just kidding, but they have a university there, and he was actually exploring, asking me, is it possible? So we actually look at the details, and A-levels, I think, was accepted requirement, because I guess A-levels is a UK requirement also. And of course, we have thousands to Malaysia. As I mentioned just now, thousands over the years, private, semi-private. And it's very interesting, our MCKL students, when they go to different institutions, somehow some of them who may not have known each other before, they suddenly realize in their class there's an MCKL student in their presence, especially when they very proudly wear the MCKL t-shirts, and they notice that, hey, that's my fellow college mate. They may not have known each other when they were in college, and then they're able to find peers initially there, and they group together, and they keep a strong bond going also. All right, so this is just a very quick overview of what MCKL what MCKL has to offer to our students in terms of where they have gone, and I hope I'm giving you a gist of that like our students' journey to many different parts of the world and into Malaysia. So as I mentioned earlier, uh, there's a few things you need to consider. Some people think it's really very easy. Okay, just come to MCKL, then I can get to go, and I'm like, it's a very easy process. But not actually like that. So some of the things you actually need to consider is, firstly, as like, for instance, because I know I'm talking to people who are interested in pre-university, is it A levels or is it OSMED? So you have to look at the program. You have to see which one would suit you better. Which one do you think you are interested in, and where can it actually take you? But if it's not A levels or OSMED, what else? What else can I actually do? So in MCKL, like I mentioned, we have the American Degree Transfer Program. And next year, we're also launching a couple of more new diploma programs, which you'll be hearing about a bit more later also. So there's other options available. So these are things you have to start thinking about. And also, what are the requirements? What are the academic requirements? Is it only academic? When I say academic, they ask you for grades. I need 3 A's, I need 3 A stars, I need an ATA score for OSMED of 85, 70, 60, 90, depending. Are there any other requirements? Is there an English requirement? Is there any other academic requirement that you need to fulfill? These are things you'll have to check in advance. Of course, the next one, tuition costs. You have to check how much does it cost to study there. Do you have the money? Do your parents have the money to actually send you to study there? And don't forget, what is the cost of living? So some places in the world, cost of living can be low. I had a student who went to study in Poland, and he told us the cost of living in Poland for the town that he was in is almost same or equal to Malaysian cost of living. We were quite surprised because we thought that in Europe it's going to be more expensive, but actually what he told us is he's managing as if he's living in Malaysia in that sense. But this was a number of years ago. I'm not sure whether things have changed. And especially this next one, if you apply to a foreign country to study, do they require you to know that foreign language? Do they require you to know German? Do they require you to know Japanese, Korean? Do they require you to know Mandarin? Or if you go to Europe, Spanish, French, and so on and so forth. Is there that kind of language requirement? You have to check and see. And if you are going to ask a question about, what about studying in Germany? What are the requirements? Don't worry, later on we have a session on studying in Germany also. And the person will be able to take you through. Is there? Oh, sorry. Today we don't have the German. Okay. We had one last week, but no worries. If you want to study in Malaysia, if you want to study, you want to go to Germany and study, MCKL offers you a German pathway. Advertisement now for MCKL's German pathway. Feel free to contact our marketing office, or feel free to drop by to MCKL today, 9 to 5. We have an open day happening, and you can find out more about that German pathway that MCKL has to offer. Okay, yeah, they will be actually here to talk to you about it. And that's something else to consider is scholarships. And when I say scholarships, I think a very important factor to consider is when people assume that scholarships mean, there can be a few assumptions. Scholarship mean everything is paid for. Not necessarily. Sometimes scholarships that the universities advertise, it could be 50%, it could be 30%, it could be just for the first year only. So if you do get the first year scholarship, you have to check and see, am I eligible? Do I have enough finance to support me for second year, third year, fourth year? That's one. Secondly, it's not as easy process to get in. There are scholarships available, but you will have to fight for it. You have to work hard for it. And another one, weird one that I get sometimes is people saying, oh, when they give me scholarship, do I have to come back and work for the company? Obviously, in that sense, if somebody gives you the scholarship, in Malaysia, generally, those companies, organization that gives you the scholarship, there is an expectation, a requirement, you will sign a contract that you will come back and work with them for a certain period. You are bonded to them for a certain period. And we look at it positively is because they are supporting you for your education, and you working with them. It doesn't mean they don't pay you. When you work with these companies, organizations, you actually pay the salary equal to the others also, but you are paying back in terms of your service to them because they have paid for your education also. So here in MCKL, we have an MCKL University Placement Alumni Unit, which is where I am from. And like I mentioned, I've been there for 8 years. And just a bit of advertisement, And this is a service that we provide to our students who walk through our doors. As long as you're an MCKL current student, when you enroll to MCKL for a program, or even if you have completed your studies and you're done with your studies and you decide to apply to university, we are here to give you this support and this service. So some of the things we actually do is, we actually help you choose the right subjects. So some students still are undecided when they join or they're about to join, what are the right subjects to choose for certain courses that they want. So we can help you through this process. We actually help you think through which course, which university you should be applying for. We give you advice, but we never force you to. So it's advice, it's suggestions, it's options, it's providing you thoughts to think about, but in the end, the choice is yours. So sometimes I have told students, don't apply to X university. Based on my experience talking to him or her, I would suggest Y university. Or I'll say, don't go to X, go to Y country. Depending on how much of time we are able to spend with you. We would like to be honest to you. But of course, the final decision always is in your hands. But that is something that we can actually do for you. The next one is we are actually a UK application center. As you can see, the number of students who apply to the UK is very high every year. So over the years, MCKL also has a history of applying many students going to the UK. So actually, we are a direct UK application center. We don't go through any agents. We don't go through any other bodies. Applications that we send out to the UK goes directly to UCAS, through UCAS, which is the application portal, and then it's directly sent to the universities also. So students actually can. We also do a lot of support service for the students applying to the UK, not just for the application. And also we support you through any other university application, whichever country, from the US, Australia, Canada, East Asia, Japan, Korea. Even I had students coming to me with Korean documents, unable to read. We would actually Google translate it, see what is the requirement, and we see that work it out together with the student also. So it's all possible, and we are willing to help you and provide a service for you. As a resource center, we are two things. We get a lot of brochures, flyers, documents from the universities. On a normal year, that we have a lot of this. So we have it available for the students, and you can come and take it, and it's free for you. But as a resource center, it's because over the years we have also built good friendship, relationship, networking with universities all over the world. So as a resource center, if you need to contact a university directly, if you need to, you would like to talk to a representative from a particular university, many of the universities that have come through our doors, we are in touch with them, and we can actually link you up with them also if you need that kind of help and support from the university. So when we say resource center, we are not just giving out brochures to you, but we also have this kind of network that we can actually provide this kind of connections for you if you need that kind of help. And as I mentioned just now, we also offer some students' parents think that if I haven't decided which university I want to go to and I'm done with MCKL, I cannot come back for help. No, it's a service that we provide for any MCKL students who has completed their studies with MCKL, whether currently or post. Currently I'm dealing with a student who finished with us 2 years ago. He made some other plans in life initially, and he has changed his mind. So currently we are working on his application 2 years later for entry into university. It's totally fine for us as long as you are an MCKL student. You were once in our classes, you went through this process with us, we are here